This was the watch that won Otsuka Lotec its first GPHG award, the one that brought Jiro Katayama's name into the spotlight. But I have to admit, it was not my favorite. Was there something I had missed? When the Model 6 was released, I didn't choose it, preferring the 7.5 instead. After that, I fell in love with the Model 5 Kai, and it remains my favorite to this day. The Model 6, well, it left me cold. Its uncompromising instrument-like face seemed joyless to me. It was a design I couldn't connect with, and I really tried. But maybe I was too harsh. Maybe all I needed was time to understand what it was really about. Nop, a collector friend in Singapore, someone who owns all three, understood my hesitation, and he offered me the Model 6 to try. Not for a brief encounter, but for long enough that the watch would live with me. Long enough for its voice to get through. He clearly knew something I didn't. In my tour of Jiro Katayama's workshop, I found the source. An old voltage measuring device, the dial of the Model 6, fitting almost exactly. And once you know this, you can't unsee it. The clean radial layout, the segmented arcs, it feels like a reading taken from another discipline entirely, pulled into the realm of timekeeping by sheer force of will. The Model 6 tells time with two retrograde hands. The shorter one is the hour hand. It runs along the lower arc, tracing the hours from left to right. The longer one is the minute hand. It moves along the upper scale in the same way, sweeping forward, then jumping back in an instant. At first, it's unfamiliar, but once you've seen it, once you've watched both hands leap back into place, it becomes second nature. If you've never handled these watches before, this might surprise you. Compared to the 5 Kai and the 7.5, the Model 6 has a noticeably larger footprint. At 42mm on the wrist and even more so in the hand, it feels substantial, like a precision instrument meant to be held and used. The dial's proportions give the hands a larger share of the visual space, and that changes everything. The time is easier to read here than on either of the others. On the 5 Kai, your eye is drawn to the mechanism. On the 7.5, you look into the apertures. On the 6, it's almost all dial. Once you get used to its unusual layout, clarity becomes second nature. The hands stretch deep into the dial, leaving no ambiguity about where you are in the hour. The brushed surface of the dial catches light in fine, shifting tones. Everything is tone-on-tone metal, no distractions. At the lower edge, a running seconds display glints as it moves, just large enough to confirm at a glance that the watch is running. The Japanese text quietly notes its daily water resistance. Practical, unpretentious. The Miyota 9015 keeps the case refined, despite its size. There's a date complication as well, something missing from both the 5 Kai and the 7.5, and it changes the mood entirely. This is a watch that's not only legible, but useful. The kind you can wear every day without thinking twice. Inside, there's something unexpected. The retrograde mechanism uses tension springs made from guitar string, a resourceful, almost mischievous choice. A reminder that watchmaking genius isn't always about exotic materials. Sometimes it's about seeing familiar things differently. Mr. Katayama keeps a guitar in his workshop. I'd like to think that he was playing one day and realized he could use it here in this watch. Holding all three watches side by side is a remarkable experience. 3 moods, 3 complications from the mind and hands of one man. The 7.5 with its jumping hour, the 5 Kai with its wandering hours, smaller, more compact, where the mechanism is the first thing you notice, and telling the time becomes almost secondary. And then the 6, larger, clearer, more utilitarian, the watch that for daily wear might make the most sense. I expected to feel the same detachment I did when I first saw it, but living with it, something shifted. Its austerity became grounding. The coldness I imagined gave way to a quiet honesty. This wasn't a watch trying to seduce me. Instead, it was a watch that knew I'd come around in my own time. It's a very Japanese kind of restraint, not the romanticism of lacquer or calligraphy, but the discipline of industrial design, done perfectly. The same precision you'd find in a vintage machine in Katayama's workshop or in the control panel of the 0 Series bullet train. And so, a year after it appeared, I find myself relearning what I thought I knew about the Model 6, understanding what the GPHG jury saw in it that I didn't, why Katayama's choice to design from an instrument rather than from a watch was the kind of risk that deserved recognition. I still love the 5 Kai, my favorite of them all. I still love my 7.5, which I brought home to meet its maker. But now, I see the Model 6 as the missing piece in that story. The one that didn't have to win me over quickly, because it knew it would win me over eventually. As my friend Nop told me, the 7.5 has hints of Yane halter, the 5 Kai with its hints of work, but the 6 is the most Ōtsuka Lotec of them all. And I agree.